So I had this, like, wasn't really like a realization. I think it was more of a, it feels like an understanding of, or just like, not like an epiphany realization, but like I am realizing, does that make sense? Um, I'm noticing that the things that I share about basically the inner workings of my heart and my beingness may not be typical. I'm not the only one, but it may not be like, you know, everybody that you meet. And I get that. And um, what I want to say about the way that I move in my heart and in my life. First of all, it's not always rainbows and butterflies. It's a full spectrum of the human experience over here. And every day I try my best, and that's enough. But I sit in the recesses of my heart a lot with spirit and with God. Solitude is my favorite place to be. And because that presence is like my home, it's my greatest delight, really. Um, I'm filled. I'm filled up. You know what I mean? Especially in this year of devotion to myself. Like, there's just a lot of that, and like stillness and deep listening and everything else that comes with that too. Um, and because of that just being how I am, what I do, there's a lot of light that exudes out of me. And I know this. And it's all, I've always been who I am. You know what I mean? And I remember my mom, she's told me that like when I was little, people would like comment on either like my smile or just like how my eyes light up or whatever. Like people would constantly comment about basically like this light in me. And I've seen it before in children. And it's nothing that I feel like anybody can take credit for, really. And I think that is what I want to say right now is that I'm not special in the way that it might be unique because most people don't bother, honestly. Either they weren't taught, they weren't like led in this way. And for me, like for example, prayer was something that was just a staple in my home growing up. And also for me, it was way more relational than it ever was religious or ritualistic. That was always really important to me, you know. And I've said this before, like I consider it the biggest privilege of my life that I call God's heart my home. And my heart space is God's dwelling place with me. Like the sweetest moments in my whole life have been there together. And this isn't an evangelist talk. This is a not even a disclaimer. I think this is an invitation to say that I had this realization years ago where it was like you can have as much of God as you want. And that's true for me and that's true for every person, every heart. Um, I don't know, I feel like there's something that wants to be said, but I don't think I'm getting to it. I don't know how to say it because I don't know what it is that wants to be said. Give me a minute. J. Cole said in his verse on Pretty Little Lies, I guess the same light I see in you is the light in me. Something like that. And it's like, it's not my light. It's not me per se. I am me and I am the way I am, but it just feels like there's nothing, it's nothing that I can take credit for. And it's not fake humility. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, like trying to dodge like a compliment or like, don't give me credit for this. Mos Def in his audiobook, sorry, Yassine Bey, um, he goes, the creativity that comes like from inside of me, like the best parts of it, are nothing that I could ever, ever, ever take credit for. You know what I mean? Like it comes from somewhere else through us. And I think that's the same thing with light. And I would even say that creativity is even maybe an effect of that same light coming through us. You know what I mean? It's not, light is not just like love and light. It's not just, it's existing, I feel like, fully as yourself, unapologetically. It's integrity. It's speaking the truth even when it's inconvenient, even when you might be hated for it. It's doing what you know in your heart is right to do, even if you're standing alone. It's being treated in ways that you didn't deserve and still choosing to lead with your heart and to have an open heart and to not hate, to forgiving yourself for allowing those things. Because most of the time, when we're treated in those ways, as adults at least, we allowed it. We allowed it. It's forgiving those around us who didn't have the capacity, who didn't know, who just couldn't show up for us in ways that we needed, protect us, whatever it was. And it's realizing that we get to live in this life as a fully immersed human. I believe 100% spirit and 100% human at the same time in parallel realities, mostly inside of this body. You know, there's the times when you can be kind of live in the ethers through like meditation or playing around in the dream realms, things like that, you know. Imagination, that's really fun as we imagine and build and energetically create our lives. Like that's really fun, but we're here and we signed up to be here, I believe, to experience this full human experience. And I think just not obliging anything or anyone and just living life. And it doesn't mean you allow disrespect. It doesn't mean you allow people to just treat you any kind of way or anything like that. But it does mean that you don't have to pressure anyone or anything outside of you. You can kind of just exist fully and take up that space in your beingness. Like, let your energy just fully exist, be dense. You know what I mean? Like, let it be. Don't dilute yourself. Don't play small. Don't silence yourself. I think that is light, is us existing with our hearts fully alive, which I've said before, I believe is God's greatest glory. I believe is our Creator's greatest glory, is for us as human beings to live in our lives fully alive. Things happen in life where sometimes that light, the spirit in us gets tainted, and it gets scared because it didn't feel safe, it didn't feel seen, it didn't feel validated, it didn't feel accepted. It wasn't invited. And a lot of times those things happen to people when they're little for all kinds of reasons. But I think the invitation is to go through the experiences in your life in a way where it leads you back to yourself, and that's your full self. And finding the beauty there, to where, how could I ever censor or make small any part of me? Like, what a disservice it is to the world, to the people around me, to any sort of contribution that is mine to offer here in this time and space, in this reality. Like, I must exist fully as myself. I must exist to my fullest and greatest version that I was created to be, as a thank you for being created, period. For being created, as an honoring of the exact way that I was created to be. And maybe I'm partial, but I really love the way that I was created to be. And I feel like if more people would undo the false narratives that were given to us about reasons why you should hate yourself, whether they're given to people intentionally or not, if we would undo those lies about us, and we believed the truth about who we were and how we were created, and we lived fully into that light with no apology, that's light. That's light. That is God's greatest glory shining through us. And so I might be special, but you're special too. You know what I mean? I might be unique, but you're unique too. And there are things that are meant for only you to fulfill in this life, in this world. There are stories and things for you to say and speak, and your truth that are only yours to tell. Whether it's with your voice, music, art, creativity, things that you build, relationships, human compassion, humanity, connecting with another person, with another heart. There are people who only get to experience that version of you when you allow yourself to exist fully, without apologizing, without shrinking. And that version of you is a gift to them, it's a gift to your Creator, and it's a gift to you. And I think that's how you kind of bring your light online, is you liberate yourself from all of the things that you've been told that you shouldn't do, that it's too much, that you're not enough, all the shame and the guilt and the shoulds and the pressure and the. And I know it's hard because we still live on this planet, in this world, with real life needs and obligations and things like that. And in the within time and space, you know. And I think that's why it's so important, I feel like, for me to take out blocks of time in solitude, in stillness, in nature, listening. Like making it a priority on my schedule to block out time to do nothing. Nothingness, silence, stillness, deep listening. Moving my body, going out in nature, breathing, playing, wasting time. And it feels like if more of us prioritized that, it would be a deep restoration for us, you know? That's what it feels like. I'm here on mission, and I've been on mission my whole life, literally since conception. It's a longer story. But the mission is not, doesn't have an agenda other than your liberation, to live fully as yourself with your heart fully alive. That's the mission. Receiving your human experience in its fullness, feeling the feelings, moving through life, inspired, taking action when you hear go. I might be special. I might be unique. I might be God's favorite. But so are you.